Shalom. Shalom and welcome. My name is Symmanayah, and today is December 18, 2014. This is the second part, part 2, to a segment entitled Hands Up, I Can't Breathe. It is a reflection of what I experienced this morning, December 18, 2014. Though I have spoken similar regarding these words, hands up, I can't breathe, I was compelled to present this, and as I believe the Spirit of Yahushua has moved me, I am responding with this segment. My brothers and sisters, we have witnessed since the dawn of ages, the enemy using set-apartness and fragments and part, and as a result of that, causing wicked division and evilness among those who truly seek set-apartness. We have witnessed fragments and pieces and being scattered from the four corners to the four corners of the earth. But we are in the end times. We have reached a time when Yashar'al, true Yashar'al, will be made whole and restored. We are witnessing a time when much that has been written regarding set-apartness is coming to an end as it relates to man in these earthen vessels. This is part 2 of the segment entitled Hands Up, I Can't Breathe. And I want to say this to you who have been listening. Thank you. I pray that anything that is confirmed to be set apart coming from me, that Yahushua Messiah gets all credit and esteem, and that he is lifted up. And as a result, we watch him draw all men to himself and present us before the Almighty Father Yahuwah. I salute your patience, your tolerance, your pursuit of set-apartness. I salute you for enduring. I pray that you increase in wisdom, in good health, and understanding. More so than anything, that you increase in discernment, that you're able to discover what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying to you individually, to us individually, and to his assembly. My brothers and sisters, all too often, though we hunger for set-apartness, there are those among us who may be struggling with receiving set-apartness if it came from someone that they believe to be off a little or off a lot. Case in point, there's a Christian gentleman by the name of Walid Shabbat. It is my understanding that Walid Shabbat says that he was once a Muslim, converted to a Christian. So whether Muslim or Christian or whatever your position is regarding other religions or beliefs, for some reason people might just close their ears and cannot receive what is indeed set apart or may be correct because it's coming from someone who went from Muslim to Christian, because it's coming from Walid Shabbat. But he presents a case regarding end times, regarding the prophecies of end times, regarding the beast, regarding what Revelation and other scriptures speak of when it comes to one world government, the Antichrist or Anti-Messiah. He presents some compelling evidence of which I take a position to believe his words as it relates to the fulfillment of prophecy regarding a one world government. I believe without a doubt his words are true. Now, this does not mean I agree with his teaching or his position as a Christian, by no means. But I believe his interpretation of the fulfillment of prophecy as it relates to the Roman Empire being revived and representing that final one world government, I believe his words to be true. So what does that mean? It means that I believe in the midst of his profession, I believe that the Spirit of Yahushua has revealed to me pieces of set-apartness. So whether the truth is coming from a donkey, or coming from Walid Shabbat, or coming from stones, or whether it's coming from us, whether you perceive me as a donkey, if I say something that is set apart, are you able to discern it? There's another gentleman by the name of Brad Scott. Though Brad Scott walks a careful path, and those may dismiss him or disregard him, I am compelled to believe he put together a phenomenal piece when it comes to communication. A series on Hebrew, on the Hebrew language. It is something that Brad Scott has presented that I think is phenomenal, that is indeed set apart. And that is when he talk about communication or words and terms, when he used the word form versus function, form and function. I would invite you to research that and listen to his 12-part teaching on the Hebrew language. Brad Scott, I believe his ministry might be called Wild Branch Ministries. I believe. I may be mistaken, but his name is Brad Scott. And I ask you, are you void of understanding his teachings dealing with form and function because you disagree with the face, the color of his skin, or what you believe he stands for? Let us not, my brothers and sisters, be looking at a donkey or the stones and fail to recognize the set-apartness. Now you might say, well, I'm calling him a donkey or stones. I can say the same for myself. Do not look at me as an ass or the stones. Examine whether the words I speak are set apart or not. With that said, my brothers and sisters, getting back to the segment, hands up, I can't breathe. Numbers 22:28 says, Then Yahuwah opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said to Balaam, What have I done to you that you have beaten me these 3 times? Clearly, this is an example of the Almighty Father opening the mouth of a donkey. If you witness this verse and discovered the life in it, and you were the one who was there, do you believe you would have struggled trying to accept that the mouth of a donkey was open? I mean, even if you witnessed it and discovered the set-apartness, would not the flesh war against the spirit and still get you to try to fight with denial, thinking something else, maybe even embracing unbelief? I can't believe the donkey said that. What about Matthew 3:9? It says, And do not think to say to yourselves, We have Abraham as father. For I say to you that Elohim is able to raise up children to Abraham from these stones. Luke 19:40 says, But he answered and said to him, I say to you that if these shall be silent, the stones would cry out. Would we be able to see beyond the characteristics of stones or a donkey? Would we be able to discern set apart words and messages? Could it be possible for individuals to communicate in spirit to one another? Who then do we seek to worship and obey if there is no spiritual communication? How then are we able to communicate with he whom we cannot see? If the Almighty Father, Yahuwah, dwells within us through his set-apart spirit in Yahushua's name, and he works in us and through us one towards another, are we not experiencing something spiritual at times? Does it not spill out into something physical? My brothers and sisters, back to the title of this segment, Hands Up, I Cannot Breathe. I can't breathe. What are you discerning in the midst of these protests? Again, I ask the questions. Could these words, hands up, I can't breathe, be linked to the last call of set-apartness? Could they represent the word behold, the final image, the final symbol in the image of the Almighty Father's name in pictorial form? The last call of set-apartness, a final call to righteousness. Could the cry, I can't breathe, be a cry for the breath of the Almighty Father Yahuwah, his set-apart spirit sent in Yahushua's name? We know that Ruach or Ruach HaKodesh, Ruach means spirit and Ruach HaKodesh means set-apart spirit. And some have embraced and stopped at the definition of saying it just means breath. I submit to you that the breath of the Almighty Father is indeed the living presence of the Spirit of the Almighty Father. Breath is merely a symbolic to give us an understanding. It is not something we can grasp with our hand, touch, or see physically with our eyes. Could I can't breathe be a cry out to be able to experience the breath of the Almighty Father, his set-apart spirit, sent in Yahushua's name? End times are here. And there will be sequence of events occurring representing our refining points. We, true Yashar'al, will be made humbled and discover wholeness in Yahushua's message, orders, instructions to us like never before. Imagine. Both Hebrews, Abarim, and Gentiles, Goyim, other nations, who are made one in Yahushua Messiah, who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father. We will rise up under one banner. That banner will be Yashar'al, made one by Yahushua Messiah. Though I say true Yashar'al, there's no need of saying with the adjective saying true. It is indeed Yashar'al, made one by Yahushua Messiah. Anything else outside of that has no consequence to set-apartness. It has a different end. My brothers and sisters, I want to introduce you once again to what I have described and come to know as the Amos sequence. The Amos sequence. It describes a sequence of events before the wrath of the Almighty Father unfolds. I want to specifically share with you the 4th chapter of Amos, verses 6 to 13. It reads as follows. And I also gave you cleanness of teeth in all your cities and lack of bread in all your places, but you did not turn back to me, declares Yahuwah. I have also withheld rain from you 3 months before the harvest. Then I would send rain on one city and on another. I would not send rain. One part was rained upon, and where it did not rain, the part would dry up. Then 2 or 3 cities would wander to another city to drink water, but they were not satisfied. But you did not turn back to me, declares Yahuwah. I have smitten you with blight and with mildew. The creeping locust devoured your many gardens and your vineyards and your fig trees and your olive trees. But you did not turn back to me, declares Yahuwah. I have sent among you a plague in the way of Mitzrayim. I have slain your young men with the sword, along with your captured horses. I made the stench of your camps come up into your nostrils, but you did not turn back to me, declares Yahuwah. I have overthrown some of you as Elohim overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, and you were like a burning stick plucked from the burning. But you did not turn back to me, declares Yahuwah. Therefore I am doing this to you, O Yashar'al, and because I do this to you, prepare to meet your Elohim, O Yashar'al. For look, he who forms mountains and creates the wind, and who declares to man what his thought is, and makes the morning darkness, and who treads the high places of the earth, Yahuwah Elohim of hosts is his name. Though this was a prophecy of something that occurred many years ago, I ask you, does this prophecy also reflect the sequence of events that are leading to our final days as man in these earthen vessels? Look around. Are we witnessing widespread famine, food shortages? Could this be depicted as cleanness of teeth? And don't be fooled by focusing only on prices going up and down, for the fact is food inventories are indeed shrinking. Are we not seeing it rain in some areas but yet witnessing drought in others? Now don't be fooled because rain just fell in California, because there are other parts of the world still facing drought, plus the rain that fell in California or on the West Coast was not enough to remove the drought conditions. Also, California's recent rain was and is not enough to heal it from current extreme conditions, which means we will continue to see the fallout in times to come regarding famine. Regardless of our perspective, end-time prophecies are unfolding before us. They represent the plan of the Most High, and they are unfolding beyond just the borders of a single state like California. All too often we have paid attention to what's in our own neck of the woods, so to speak, what's in our own borders, or what's within our own field of vision, or what is seen or perceived only by us. But this will not stop the realities of end-time prophecies being fulfilled. Pestilence and diseases are rising in many shapes and forms, with many viruses mutating as this message is presented. If you look around, habitable places are decreasing and becoming more and more. There are places that are becoming more and more unattractive, and people are looking for safe places to live. For whatever reason, my brothers and sisters, we are facing the most challenging times of our lives. If you look around, as habitable places are decreasing and more places are becoming less attractive to dwell, it is as though the wrath of Elohim, the Almighty Father Yahuwah, has begun. It is as though birth pains are upon us. If you search the news feeds or seek out those who are walking the planet, who are aware, or seek out the watchmen of Yahuwah, you will see these things are unfolding before our very eyes. It would not take much effort to see the same sequence reflected in Amos 4th chapter, verses 6 to 13, that sequence have begun now. My brothers and sisters, man is on the collision course to extinction, total extinction. Whether I use the words an end is coming of the corruptible and that we will find ourselves putting on the incorruptible, or whether I use the word total extinction, they both represent the end of man as we know it in these earthen vessels. Do not the scriptures speak of such? To those overtaken with unbelief or just plain rebellion, a different perspective and end will await you, and it does await you. But to you, O Yashar'al, who's being refined, perfected, to understand, to grow in maturity in Yahushua Messiah, you will come to discern these words to be true, if not already. Currently, I have stated in times past, there are 4 basic resources we need to live from a natural perspective. Let me pause. Who knows the answers to those 4 basic things that we need from a natural perspective? Pause for a moment. Reflect them in your mind or speak them verbally. Did you say fresh air, fresh water, food in a safe place? If so, I salute your discerning abilities and your ability to commune with the set-apart Spirit of Yahushua working in you, in me, in us, through us, one towards another. I strongly invite you to examine what is stated regarding conditions in the Amos sequence and what I've spoken of. Because if you look closely, you'll see, my brothers and sisters, CO2 and methane gases are rising at alarming proportions, threatening the very fresh air that we breathe. These conditions threaten the air we breathe. Thus, I can't breathe. But we know that true life will come by every word that proceeds out of the Almighty Father. By His breath alone do we live. Also, consider the erratic weather patterns, producing drought and soon to be obvious, more famine, along with increases in pestilence and disease. The Amos sequence is at the final stage. In other words, where it states in the 12th verse, prepare to meet Elohim, the Almighty Father Yahuwah, through the physical return of Yahushua Messiah, our Mashiach. It has begun. Allow me to reread Amos 4:12. It says, therefore I am doing this to you, O Yashar'al. And because I do this to you, prepare to meet your Elohim, O Yashar'al. These were words echoed in prophecy because of man's failure to turn to the Most High fully, unquestionably. My brothers and sisters, we have yet to witness being gathered from the 4 corners of the earth. We have yet to see Yashar'al fully awakened and restored whole. We have much work to do regarding our final exodus and becoming unified by one spirit in Yahushua Messiah, our Mashiach, who has come to discover that the Almighty Father Yahuwah sent His set-apart spirit. Yes, it is His set-apart spirit He wants us to identify in Yahushua's name. Why? Because it reflects His total plan for our restoration and for life immeasurably. Do not be swayed to think anything differently, considering what I've just said. Consider the following. Once again, I repeat this as I have mentioned in times past. John 14:25 and 26. These words I spoke to you while still with you, but the Helper, the set-apart Spirit, whom the Father shall send in my name, He shall teach you all and remind you of all that I've said to you. My brothers and sisters, this is the Mashiach. This is Yahushua speaking through His servant, as it is reflective in the text, as it is made alive. There will be many led astray. There will be a falling away. There will be those delivered to Satan for the destruction of the flesh, in order that their spirit may be saved. There will be those who will demonstrate being victims of the working of delusion because of their choice, because of choosing not to follow set-apartness in Yahushua Messiah. More than anything, my brothers and sisters, there will be fulfillment of the rise of the children of obedience who will prove that the following verse will be true. 1 Thessalonians 5, 9, and 10 say, because Elohim did not appoint us to wrath, but to obtain deliverance through our Master Yahushua Messiah, who died for us, so that we, whether awake or asleep, should live together with Him. My brothers and sisters, the realities and the life and the words regarding scriptures and what the Most High Father has created will come to be. From the joyous to the severe, it will prove to be real, more real in the coming days like never before. Are you witnessing? Hands up. Do you see people saying, I can't breathe? Whether it be echoing the words or in action. Is it possible that these echoes represent more than Mike Brown and Eric Garner? Please, by no means am I making light of what happened to these men, nor what their families are facing. I am merely saying, could it represent more, something more phenomenal, something extraordinary? Sometimes there are things that represent something greater than one perceives. Is it possible that what is reverberating and what is being mentioned in the protests have more in it than what we see? Could it be that it represents the pieces of set-apartness? Could it be that hands up, I can't breathe represents, behold, a call to action, a call to yield to set-apartness? Could it be I can't breathe, a hunger, a cry out to the set-apart breath of the Almighty Father Yahuwah? Could it be that we are witnessing something much more greater than Civil Rights Movement 2.0 or the re-emergence of the Civil Rights Movement? Could it be a movement towards set-apartness, with some even unaware? Pray and watch. I am compelled to believe, just as the Most High spoke through opened the mouth of a donkey, or we told that the stones would cry out. Sometimes there are set-apart words that set out before us, that come out. Sometimes there are things that are set apart, though they may be fragmented or clouded with the enemy's influence as a result of the flesh warring against the spirit and the enemy warring against set-apartness. Set-apartness still comes out. I believe wholeheartedly those who seek to discern every piece, every fragment of truth, those who are able to witness that when the pieces are brought together, when the baskets are being made full, will come to confirm that this message is reflective of what will happen to Yashar'al. What say you? What say you, O listener, to these words? Choose wisely, for an ignored piece or fragment, to ignore a piece or a fragment, could be the very missing piece necessary to step forward closer in maturity and discernment. So choose wisely, because every piece, the very piece or fragment ignored, could be what keeps you from becoming whole or moving further, closer in maturity. My prayer for Yashar'al is that we begin to urgently pursue the ability to discern what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying to us. What the Almighty Father Yahuwah, through His set-apart Spirit in Yahushua's name, is speaking to us individually, directly through His Spirit, or through us one towards another, or through His chosen. My prayer, my brothers and sisters, that we can witness what orders, what commands are going forward, that we yield to His living instructions and take heed to His warnings. My prayer is that we're able to endure to the end. I invite you to seek out the image of the name of the Almighty Father Yahuwah in its ancient pictorial form. I invite you to seek to discover that it reads from right to left as hand behold, nail behold. Believe it or not, there are simplicities which produce much. And just as a small mustard seed, though it is little in size, produces a majestic tree, if we look at the simplicity of the name of the Almighty Father in His pictorial form, we will witness Him extending His hand, representing our creation. Behold, we will witness how it mentions the actions as a result of the extended hand of the Almighty Father. Nail, we will witness how it reflects the sacrifice that was made for us to be restored in fellowship with the Almighty Father. And behold, the action that preceded or that followed afterwards, not preceded, proceeded afterwards. Hand behold, nail behold, my brothers and sisters. His name alone represents His plan in this simplistic form. For we know in the actions that fall after the sacrifice will only lead to the day of judgment that will result in a new beginning, a beginning of life out of these corruptible bodies, out of these earthen bodies, and a life immeasurable with Yahushua Messiah, with the Almighty Father, or eternal damnation. What say you, my brothers and sisters? Who is able to discern whether these words are set apart or not? My brothers and sisters, as you witness these words, pray and seek to discern their relationship to the message. As you witness and hear, even more so, hands up, I can't breathe, I invite you to consider the linkage. Consider whether they are indeed akin to a message that is saying, behold, let us examine the actions. Let us realize that judgment begins at the house of Elohim. Behold, let us look at every action and discern what is indeed set apart versus what's not. Let us look at the words, I can't breathe, or cry out, saying that I need justice. I need to witness justice. And I can assure you that true justice comes through set-apartness by Yahushua Messiah, by the Almighty Father Yahuwah, through his set-apart Spirit sent in Yahushua's name. Truly the Ruach of the Almighty Father, or the Spirit of the Almighty Father Yahuwah. Or, as we will say, in acknowledging that he sent his Spirit in Yahushua's name, could it be most discerned as the breath of Yahuwah? Is it indeed Yahuwah? And it is indeed Yahuwah. And it is by every word, every breath that Yahuwah speaks. Every breath that goes forward out of the mouth of the Almighty Father. It is by these words, his words, that we live. This is not a game. Not at all, my brothers and sisters. The realities of what we are facing will soon become more and more clear before those who are awakening. The people of Yashar'al, true Yashar'al, will emerge. Our refinement has begun and proof will come. Pray and watch. Yashar'al, we are awakening. The set-apart children of obedience will gather from the four corners of the earth. We will see the 144,000 in multitude mentioned in Revelation 7 chapter rise together in unity through Yahushua Messiah under the banner of Yashar'al. Proof comes. There's much work to be done and many worlds to travel. We will cross seas and some even oceans and rivers. The completion of our final exodus will come to be. Pray, my brothers and sisters, study, pray some more, and seek to earnestly establish a mind, body, and soul to respond with accuracy. Seek to discern what the Spirit of Yahushua is ordering of us, of you, of me, of the assemblies. We will adjust, we will adapt, and we will learn to walk in set-apartness. We will grow in maturity. We will face the living instructions, warnings, reproof. We will face the refinement that is necessary to fulfill end-time prophecies and more. Pray, my brothers and sisters. Pray and watch. Until next time, I invite you to continue tuning in to Yashar'al's time. This has been a special segment as I was compelled to revisit regarding what is unfolding before our very eyes. Again, it was entitled, Hands Up, I Can't Breathe. Are you able to discern the magnitude of this message going forth? Again, my brothers and sisters, I pray that anything that is set apart, that is confirmed to be true, that Yahushua Messiah gets all credit and esteem, that he is lifted up and that he draw all men to him. And in his drawing of men to him, we find ourselves meeting one another's hand in hand. We find ourselves being presented before the Almighty Father. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, stay tuned as we continue with Yashar'al's time, an end time series where proof will come. Shalom, shalom, shalom.